What's up, fish gang? Welcome back to Monster Fish Only, aka Mofo Fish, where we talk about monster fish and monster tanks. I'm your host, OGP, and today we're talking about the Red Devil Cichlid. Let's dive in. Yo, what? DJ, man, find the intro.
Hey, fish gang, you know we come alive from the fish tank. Don't be getting mad cause your fish lame. Yeah, every time you hit I do a water change. Fish gang, you know we come alive from the fish tank. Don't be getting mad cause your fish lame. Yeah, every time you hit I do a water change. Woo! Water change, 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 water change.
Before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to the fish gang. Last time I checked, we are at 249 subscribers. 249 subs. That is one away from being 1/4 of the way to our goal of 1,000 subs, which is freaking awesome. And I cannot tell you how much I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Like, you guys do not understand. This means the world to me. So thank you so much for all the support. Now, if you're new here, get in the Mofo comment section, hit the Mofo subscribe button, hit the Mofo like button, so we can get this content out to more crazy fish people like you. Alright, so before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, I like to do a quick overview of the species for the Gen Z fish keeper. Yeah. Care level, difficult, temperament, aggressive, lifespan, 12 to 15 years, size, 15 inches. Diet, they're omnivores. Minimum tank size, 75 gallons. Tank setup, plenty of room to swim with a few large rocks. Compatibility, they hate everybody. They just hate them. Yeah! Now, for the rest of us that aren't thrift shopping for mom jeans or eating soy burgers off of a clay pot, let's get to the good stuff. So, we'll start with their origin. They come from Central America and some of the larger lakes and river systems out in that area. So in the home aquaria, you pretty much just want to emulate that environment. You're going to be looking at somewhere between 72 and 80 degrees for tank temperatures. Just bear in mind, if you do have a few of them in there and they are at sexual maturity, that may spawn, that may trigger them to spawn if it goes over about 77 degrees. So you could end up with some fish babies. They are easy to breed. We'll get into that in a little bit. So for their temperament, they can be pretty aggressive. For the ones that I've kept in the past, I haven't had any issues. Of course, I've had pretty large tanks, and I've had some other larger fish in there with them, and I grew them out as juveniles up together, and they did fine together. They can be a bit snippy, but they weren't absolutely insane as advertised. Now, I take that with a grain of sand. We did have a female that looked like a male at one of the fish stores that I kind of work at, and basically she was insane, like Harley Quinn, like straight nuts, and she would just attack anything that went into her tank. Could not keep her with anything. Yeah, so again, they can be crazy. They can. For their colors, you're gonna find them in like a piebald between red and orange, or possibly, obviously in the all red. I think that's my personal favorite when they get that nice dark red look. You can find them in albino variants. Those actually look pretty cool too. The true albino variants actually have the red or the orange tint in the eyes. The other ones are the fake ones, they're phony. And these fish often get confused with the Midas cichlid, which is similar but different. That's a whole nother video. So for their lifespan, you're gonna be looking at approximately 12 to 15 years. You just have to give it a really big tank, lots of good, fresh, clean water, and they'll live a long time. They'll be a part of the family. So they are extremely intelligent from what I've noticed. They will even allow you to pet them. They'll feed by hand. Just be mindful, they do have some pretty sharp teeth, and sometimes that aggression can be taken out on you. They might think your hand is some food or something. So, but they are pretty intelligent. They'll come right up to the front of the glass. They almost seem to be menacing in a The one that I have though is extremely friendly towards me. He loves, you know, seeing me come to the front of the glass. The tank temperature is now kind of low inside of there. I have to make an adjustment and get a different heater because I ran into an issue, but that has affected his mood and his temperament. So bear in mind, they do like and enjoy the warmer temperatures, and you get a lot more personality out of them that way. As far as the size, you know, they can get up to 15 inches. So as long as you have them in probably about a 125 or up, you'll probably get it to that age, or probably get it to that size. It is gonna take you about 6 years though to get to that level. So you want to make sure to give them enough space, give them enough time to get to that full, you know, adult size, and that will allow you to enjoy the fish a lot better, because your fish is obviously going to need more space the bigger that it gets. So get a nice, good, you know, clean, big size tank and give them the best home available that is to you. All that said, you can keep it inside of the 75, it'll be fine, but they do enjoy a lot of free swimming room. Like, they are extremely active. They are very territorial as well, so don't try to keep them in there with a bunch of other fish inside of the 75. It's just not gonna work. So for their diet, just to keep it as simple as I can, you can pretty much feed them anything that's readily available to any cichlids. They do enjoy like bloodworms and krill, things like that for a snack or for a treat, but a good steady cichlid pellet needs to be their staple for their diet. The one that I particularly use, it's Cichlid Gold. I'll include a link down in the description for you guys if you want to order it through there. Yeah, I do get a few bucks for it. If you support the channel, why not, right? Cool. So all that being said, they are not super finicky. They're not super picky. I would stay away from doing live feeders, except for occasionally if you want to grow out some mollies or some guppies at home and then make sure that those fish are healthy and then feed them, sure. But just keep in mind, the more you feed them feeders, the greater the chance for them to get susceptible to some type of disease. That raises up also their predatory nature will be fully engaged. Some of you guys are like, yeah, I want a crazy fish that's gonna be wild. But until you go to try to do a water change and you're trying to move stuff around and you get bit, you might not be so enthused with that fish. So, and keep in mind, a lot of shops are not gonna take in your 6-year-old, big, nasty, mean, you know, Red Devil who's all antisocial and crazy, and say, hey, I'm not gonna be able to sell this fish, so it's pretty much gonna be a pet to us, so it's not gonna be much use to them if they're, you know, so you have to make sure that you take care of the fish. It's gonna be yours for life, especially if you make it real mean and nasty. So just take everything with the greatest hand. So we kind of touched on tank size a little bit. I'm gonna keep it really simple. Just use a 75 or up. That's the best thing that I can say, best advice I can give. I've got mine a 125 now. I've got him in there with a Jack Dempsey, a couple large catfish, a male red tiger moto, and a couple medium-sized catfish and a pleco. And he does not bother a soul. They've all got plenty of space, they've all got plenty of room, they do what they do, it's all good. And those larger catfish are gonna be going to somewhere cool, but I can't spoil it for you guys. So he's gonna, that Red Devil's gonna have a lot more space. But anyways, we'll go ahead and talk about tank setup as well. Just some nice sand, some fine sand at the bottom, and a couple large rocks will do just fine. Some big, powerful filters, because these guys are pretty messy, and that fish will be super happy. Hopefully you guys are noticing a trend in the particular fish that I talk about and the fish that I like to keep. Just understand they look a lot better when they're kind of by themselves and you're not doing a lot of mixing and matching with species and making it crowded and messy. Just dedicate a nice big tank for each one that you want to keep, and it can get a little bit pricey, but trust me, it is much more worth it to just take your time and fully appreciate and enjoy the species. just, you know, tank by tank and fish by fish. That way you can appreciate all the subtle nuances. You can actually observe it in its habitat, observe its behaviors. You know, if you want to do, you know, another, you know, or do a breeding pair and you get to see how they raise them, that's awesome. And again, we can hint on that. I hinted on that a little bit earlier. We can touch on it now. It's pretty simple. They will do what they gotta do as long as you give them plenty of fresh water, plenty of space, put the temperature at about 77, find a male and a female, and they pretty much will spawn for you. It's pretty much just that simple. And they actually do raise them to maturity for you as well. So, you know, or at least that's what I read. I haven't tried it. That's the information that I got from you, that I got for you. Last but not least, we'll talk about the tank mates. So you want to, if you're going to keep them with other fish and you want to be a responsible fish keeper, you need to make sure to grow them out together. Grow them out together. Do not even play with putting a fully adult, mature male in with other fish. These fish are psychotic when it comes to territory. So, and you can get one who's been cool his whole life and then snap. He just snaps. So, the ones that I grew out together, i.e. the red tiger moto, who is insane, and the only fish that can check him is that red terror. Sorry, not the red terror, is that red devil. That's the only one. He beat up a red terror. He beat up the Jack Dempsey. He beat up Oscars. He beat up and killed my female red tiger moto. He beat up and killed a jaguar, and he beat up and killed a dovi, albeit a baby dovi, but he did. And when I say baby, he's probably about 4 to 5 inches. He was a really awesome looking male, and he murdered him, so that really hurt. But all in all, the only fish that was able to check him was the red devil fish. That's the only one that he listens to. So bear in mind, these fish are very capable of being a menace. So you want to grow them out together. You want to give them all plenty of space. And the key to success is clay pots. Clay pots, clay pots. Put a bunch of clay pots all over the place so they have space to hide, they have space to swim around and divert and get attention off them, so that way one just can't be bullying and picking on, and plenty of space. Plenty of space. So if you're gonna do a 125, maybe 3 or 4 big, large cichlids, but make sure you grow them out together and give them all opportunities to have their own space that they can claim for themselves. Anything beyond that, you're looking at a crime scene. I'm just saying. So, yeah. But that's all I got for you today. Shout out to the whole fish gang. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Mofo channel. Get in the Mofo comment section. Hit the Mofo like button so we can get this content out to more crazy fish people like you. But like I said, that's all I got for you today. I'm out the tank. Thanks for watching.
Hey you, yeah, fish fool. If you subscribe to the channel already, then welcome to the fish gang. But if you haven't, shame on you. Keep in mind, every time you subscribe to a channel, particularly maybe this one, your fish live a little bit longer. It's science. It's real science. But, in all seriousness, you get a chance to win some free stuff. So hit the subscribe button, enter for your chance to win. All you have to do is just subscribe. It's going to be a Sun canister filter, the 304B, rated for like 525 gallons per hour. I wouldn't give you guys something that I don't personally use or I haven't personally tested, so I do have it on 3 of my tanks. I've got it on this 75 here, and I've got it on 2 125s. So we will be giving it to one of our lucky viewers for absolutely free. All you have to do is just hit the subscribe button, comment you love Mofo Fish, and hit that like button. We're out the tank.